everyone, it's Miss B the Kendi, and today I'm taking you through my 5 classroom management strategies that help me as a teacher. So I've had a lot of experience in different grade levels, and I want to walk you through something that everyone focuses on or should focus on inside of the classroom, and that is your classroom management style. I learned early on with my student teaching that this is the #1 thing that you should focus on while becoming a teacher. It is great to observe someone who has strong classroom management, and that's something that I feel like I do. So today I'm going to walk you through what I do inside of my kindergarten classroom. Now, a few takeaways before we get into it. You do need to be on a routine. Your children need to know what they're doing each day. You as a teacher need to know your class as well. What's going to help them succeed? What rewards will you do? And what form of discipline will you implement inside of your classroom? You should also think about how you're going to communicate with your parents so that you can keep in touch with your students' behaviors each day. I have very high expectations in my classroom, so I like to model with my students before I introduce my classroom management styles to them. I have a lot of personal ones for each individual student, and I also have classroom management strategies for the whole group in general. Some of these strategies I have done since my first year of teaching and my student teaching, but some of them I have developed along the way. It's different every year. It's different in what grade level you're in, how much experience you've had. Ultimately, as the teacher, it is up to you to decide what you're going to do inside your classroom to help your students succeed and for you to have an amazing year. Let's go ahead and get started. We have daily folders in kindergarten, and what I do as my system is I make sure that the kids color each day, so it is by month, and what they will do is they will color green for great choices. And then we have a key down here that explains they did not make a good choice inside the classroom, how we're communicating it to parents. #1, here's an example, like if we put a 1 in the box, please discuss using kind words and displaying kind actions towards classmates. So if a student was not being kind towards a classmate, we could write a 1 and say, please remind your child to use kind words. So this is another communication system I use with my parents, as well as the students take accountability as well. So they're coloring each day based on their behavior, and they get to the final day, which is Friday. That's their favorite part because that is where they have treasure box. This is my classroom treasure box. It is one of my favorite rewards. The kids look forward to it, and actually today is Friday, so they got to go shopping. Inside, I just have a bunch of little goodies. I have fun pencils, I have little wristbands and poppets. They love the treasure box, especially at their age. This is a great way for children to work hard throughout the day. They know at the end of the week that they are getting that prize. And I honestly believe that kids deserve this. I mean, my students work so hard in the classroom. The treasure box is my favorite reward. Their eyes light up when they come to the treasure box. You can go to the Dollar Tree. You can ask your parents on your wish list if you need some items donated. This is one of my favorite ways. So this is classroom management tip #1. Classroom management tip #2 is going to be the one that I have had since student teaching. This is the class marble jar. When I was student teaching, I learned this from my teacher that I was with in kindergarten, and I love the way that this is hands-on and the kids know exactly what to do, and it is a whole class incentive. I have a jar of marbles. I've gotten them at Dollar Tree. And what happens is if the kids make a great choice, are doing something kind, or maybe all of them have done a great job in their writing, I will come and give them a marble if I'm going around, or they go get one from the jar and they put it inside this one. Now, when this jar fills up, we get to vote on a prize. So actually today was a great Friday. The kids filled up the marble jar, and we voted on having a glow stick dance party inside the classroom. So they helped me vote and come up with ideas. We've done extra recess, we've done slime, we've done Play-Doh, but the marble jar is so easy, it's simple, and the kids know the expectations. If you are a teacher and you're looking for something to help inside your classroom, this is probably my most favorite one. I can't say enough great things about the marble jar. I think as parents too in your homes, this is a great way to reward your child as well. If you want something physical that they know that they can fill up and see, especially at their age, you can implement this at your house. But the children love the marble jar. When it fills up, we cheer, and then we dump them all out and we start all over again. This is an example of one of my reading rotations. What the students will do is they are grouped by football teams. Their names are usually here, and then below them is the station that they're going to. Great for classroom management. The students know where to go. Practice, they're in their group, they can find their name, and there's a visual of not only where they're going, but if they need to bring any materials. This is my table as a station. This is their literacy tub station. If they go to the iPads, I usually have the application that they go on. Finally, that's read to self from their reading bag or the classroom library. Visuals are key to having strong classroom management. When I do have a whole group, these have saved me this year. They are something new that I've used. Yes, if we're doing activities. No, I'm ready. I agree, that one's my favorite. So if someone's sharing instead of saying, I agree, they show their symbol. They have a question, they know to raise their hand. If they need to go to the bathroom, they cross their fingers like this. And then for water, they put up a W. This is classroom management strategy number 4. This is my all-stars wall. This is where the children have their own individual name on the wall, and they are able to work as a team and by themselves to move up to being a slam dunk champion. If you've watched my previous videos, my tables are NBA basketball teams. So I love teams in here. You saw my reading groups are football teams. My math groups are baseball teams. Well, my tables, which are their teams, they are NBA basketball teams. What better theme to include for your behavior system? So up here, the students start on starting lineup. Their name will be here. They're just not on here right now. And what they will do is their goal is to either stay on starting lineup, or they can work up to being a team player, working with others, being a good citizen inside the classroom, making good choices outside of the classroom. And then ultimately, if they make that excellent choice, they get to move up to slam dunk champion. There are some choices that can be made throughout the day. I know we all have our good days and we have our bad days, and trust me, that happens a lot in elementary school, and that is okay. As a kindergarten teacher, it is my job to make sure that students understand their feelings. They understand when they're making a good choice and when they're making a not so good choice, and we learn from our mistakes. I'm a firm believer in that. So sometimes you might move down to personal foul. That's like a little bit of a warning, but in a fun way of letting them know, hey, you need to take a break, it's okay. Now, if we move down to technical foul, that's where the coach, which is me, gets to make the choice. Maybe during centers next round, you might have to play independently, or you don't get a choice of your partner. Maybe I pick the partner for you. You know, that's based on my discretion inside the classroom. And finally, we have flagrant foul, and that's where I have to contact the parents. Now, I do have good communication with my parents. I give them these expectations at the beginning of the year, and I really want my students first to understand what choices are being made inside of the classroom. This is our wall, our all-star wall, and I love doing this with my students. I know they like it too because it's a great visual and it's a fun way of holding themselves accountable, especially in kindergarten. They can do it. And I just want them to really learn from what they're doing and being a good teammate, because as they work harder and they go to the next grade level, they will work with different students. And I want them to learn to just work with others, be happy, know that they're smart, they're kind, and they're successful inside of the classroom, and really just love coming to school. Number 5 is class callbacks. What my students do is I teach them at the beginning of the year one of my favorite callbacks. I'll say Scooby Dooby Doo, and they'll go, "Where are you?" And that's where they stop. They look at the speaker, which is me, and they listen. Now, these little things really make a difference. That's the one I always start the year with. Now, we've had some more, and every year I kind of change them. My favorite one, though, because it's my favorite food, is I say spaghetti, and then they say meatballs. And the students know to stop whatever they're doing, whether it's playing at a center, working with a partner. When I'm up teaching my mini lesson on the rug, they will stop, they'll say it back, and they will know that it is my turn to speak. So they're looking at the speaker. These ways are so quick, they're easy, they're fun, they get your students' attention, and I love them. Some other ones I do are holy moly, guacamole. Another one is hocus pocus, everybody focus. And then of course, shark bait, and they go ooh ah ah. I'll teach a few at the beginning, usually just 1 or 2 so it doesn't confuse them. We practice back and forth. We act out, so that's that modeling. Go back to centers, let's pretend that we're working. They'll be doing something, I'll say it. They'll say their part back, and we really implement that practice, especially at the beginning of the year, so they know the expectations further down the line. Not all the time I do callbacks, like when I am doing center rotations in reading and math, I do use a timer. This timer is my favorite. One of my parents got it for me one year. I just set it to the time I need, and then when it goes off, say it's been 10 minutes, it will go off. I'll silence it. But that's when the students start cleaning up. So they know to clean up their activities, they're done at my table or whatever station they are, and they know to head back to their spot so that they're ready for the next round or the next activity we're going to do. A lot of teachers put it on their smartboard or their screen, and that's fine, but I actually use my screen for their rotation of where they are during centers. I love the timer because it just works, and they can actually see it when they're at my table so they know, oh, the timer's getting ready to go off, we should probably start cleaning up. Great visuals, students need visuals, and I love this timer. That's going to wrap up my 5 classroom management strategies inside of the classroom. I hope there was something you took away from this video. Being confident inside the classroom is what really matters. When you're the teacher in here, you know what works best for your classroom and your students, and it only comes with experience. And learning to adjust as you go has been something that I have done throughout my years of experience. There might be something that works one year, but it might not work the other year, and that is fine. Learning different things throughout your years of teaching will only help you be a better teacher. We can all learn, and I love learning new things each year that maybe one of my coworkers does, maybe I saw it online, but if it doesn't work inside the classroom, that's where you need to learn to adjust. Or if it does work, that's a new idea that you can take away. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any ideas of what you would like to see from Miss B the Kindy, leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.